Okay, boys and girls, today I'm going to show you how to make a painting like the artist Keith Haring. Today we're just going to start with a white rectangular paper, and same as always, start by writing your name in the upper corner. So, name. Great. After you write your name, flip your paper over. The first step will be to draw one horizontal line across the bottom of your paper. This will be the floor for the people to dance on. So I'll try to make a straight line. The ruler's not long enough, so I'll continue the line by moving the ruler over. Great. Today to draw the Keith Haring figures, to make it easy for you, I have these stencils. So you can place your stencils as you like on your paper. So maybe I'll start with this one. And I'm going to hold with one hand, trace with the other. Great. So if you are confident about drawing, you can try to draw your own Keith Haring people in your picture. My tip is to make them on the bigger side, because if they're too tiny, it's going to be hard to paint them later. So try to make them nice and big, just like the tracers. So on my paper, I can fit 3 figures. You can decide to either have the tracer be on the front, like this one, so the white paper is facing you, or you can even decide to flip the stencil over so the brown part is showing and do the reverse image. So I'll do that for this one. After you have traced your figures, the next step is to erase the line for the floor. And then next we'll get a black marker and outline our figure. So with the black marker, we'll do a nice, careful outline around the figures. Great. So I'm going a little fast. You can make yours more slow and more careful. So you can change it as you go and add some extra bumps. Great. And just like Keith Haring, you might want to add some details. So I'll add a hole in this guy, and I'll also add a line for his leg coming up. So I'll outline all my figures and do my best careful work. So of course you'll keep going and outline all of them. So let's pretend I finished outlining all my figures. The next step is to add the colorful background. Today, to add the colorful background, we're going to use chalk pastels. These are chalk pastels, just a nice, quick and easy way to add the background. When I do chalk pastels, I like to do a quick trick where you hold the pastel sideways, and the trick is you want to do a nice gentle cover. See how I'm just adding a little bit of chalk? You really don't need that much. Please don't press down really hard like this. This will create too much chalk. Because, as you can see, once you have a little chalk, we're going to use a tissue and blend the chalk into the paper. And this will cover the background in a nice, quick, and easy way. So we'll go around and start covering more of the chalk. And again, I'm just pressing lightly on the paper. I'm not pressing down hard. So let's pretend I'll continue doing this for all my backgrounds. And I'm going to do the same thing for the top of my picture. But maybe this time I'll change colors and I'll make a blue background. So the top will be blue. So again, I'm just pressing really lightly. If I get some chalk inside my people, it's no problem because the paint will cover it. So that's why we're doing the background first, because the paints will go on top in the people. So I'll do the same thing. I just press lightly and now I'm ready to blend with the tissue. Great. Okay. Today in this art class, I think you'll be able to do the background, trace your figures with Sharpie. You might even have time to start painting your figures. If you have time for painting, it means your entire background is covered. Of course, mine is not, but let's just pretend it is. Today for painting, the paint will be in a container like this, and there'll be all different colors of paint in this egg carton tray. When you're painting, you want to make sure that you clean your paintbrush each time after you use it. So I'm just going to use paint in these kinds of containers. The trick for painting is you want to try your best to carefully paint around the outline. So when I'm painting around the outline, I like to go around the edges first, really nice and carefully and slowly. Great. Then I can paint faster in the middle. So today we're painting the figures all one solid color. That means each person can be one color. After you've painted all your people, we're going to go ahead, if there's time today, and if not, we'll do it next time, we'll add some decorations in the back. When you're adding the decorations, we'll use a smaller paintbrush, a tiny paintbrush. So I'll go ahead and paint more of my figure. Great, so I'm going pretty fast, but of course you can go more slowly and more carefully. Okay, so let's pretend I painted all my people. I'm ready to move on to the final step of the painting. The final step of this painting is adding some really beautiful details in the back. You can see for this finished example, there's a decoration of X's on the floor into a beautiful pattern. And on the top, there's all kinds of movement lines. There are some lines that are straight, there's some lines that are wavy, there's some lines that are even spirals. You can even add some additional lines with your black Sharpie. So I'm going to go ahead and move some more movement lines around the hands to show the hands are moving like this. And of course, if you don't have time to add your tiny decorative lines in the back today, you can always do it in the next art class. But we're going to use a tiny paintbrush to do that. This one has a very tiny tip. You'll just get a little bit of paint. And again, the paint will be in the egg carton. I'm just using this little container. And when you're using the tiny paintbrush, you want to go really carefully and slowly, and you can make your decorations. So maybe for mine, I'll make like spirals. You just want to get a little paint at the time, but you can decorate with all different kinds of shapes and colors. And I will say these paintings will look better the more details you can add to your work. Have fun!